We are now joined by Jose Lozano, who's president and CEO of an organization called Choose New Jersey. Good to see you, Jose.
Great seeing you, Steve.
For those who do not know what Choose is, let them know.
It is a not-for-profit organization that solely focuses on business attraction and marketing some of the great assets we have in the state.
Yes, let's play this out. Jose and I have known each other many years. We're longtime friends. We talk about business. We talk about family. But we also talk about the challenges of COVID as we tape this program mid-March 2021, be seen later. Jose, what would you say the largest or the greatest impact on business in New Jersey has been 12, 13, 14 months into this thing?
Look, on attracting businesses, it's been a little bit of a challenge because folks want to see firsthand some of the great assets, and folks have just been very difficult for them to start to travel and see some of the things firsthand. But our team has done a really great job in doing some of these virtual tours and actually articulating some of the things that they're not able to see firsthand. And so the attraction side, it's slowed things down and made things a little bit harder. But still, last year alone, we had 33 companies that committed to coming to New Jersey. And so it was a pretty successful year.
You know, I'm curious about this the office space issue. You and I have talked about this. You talk about it all the time. We're not obviously physically. We can do a lot of what we do remotely, and our team is great behind the scenes. They're all over the place. That being said, what do you see as the quote office space situation, not just in New Jersey, but as it relates to New York and New Jersey, where we're seeing in both states?
Look, I think the office setups right now are going to change for the future. I think the 5-day work week is something of the past. And I think companies are starting to look at how do you bring the teams together in a safe manner. And so offices, I know folks who are looking at redesigning their offices. I have some folks who are keeping the current designs and saying, we're just going to bring you in a couple of days a week and kind of in pods and sort of teams. I think folks are starting to work through some of those challenges now, especially I saw we go through the vaccine as the numbers start to continue to go down. Companies are starting to become much more comfortable about bringing their teams back together. But I do think in the next couple of months, folks, you'll start to see more and more companies start to come back.
The social media campaign, hashtag Mask Up New Jersey. What is it and why does it matter? Even though there are more and more vaccines being distributed, or as they say, into arms as quickly as possible. Hashtag Mask Up NJ. Go ahead.
So it was utilizing influencers. You know, it's kind of the new rave and the new trend and the way you talk to millennials and the Gen Zers. And so it's utilizing their followers to articulate the message of the state and of some of the public health messaging that's going on. So we brought together about 450 influencers who were talking to the folks that are under the age of 40 years old in New Jersey about some of the public health messaging.
To what end? What's the goal?
Well, the goal is to try to get folks that were under the age of 40 to not only comply with the social distancing and the masking and the constant hand sanitizing and washing up, but it's also starting to get them to start to go out there and get the vaccine. And the one way we're also articulating to folks is, hey, why don't you take your family members that are eligible right now for the vaccine? Why don't you convince them to get the vaccine and why don't you take them there?
You know, speaking of, and you go as far as you want, Jose, in terms of what you want to say, you participated in the J&J vaccine trial, correct?
Correct. Yeah, I've been in it for about a couple of months.
Why'd you do it?
You know, when I started to see healthcare workers and the frontline folks, what they were sacrificing and what they were doing their part to combat the pandemic. And when you started to see first responders, police officers and fire, you start to see supermarket workers, everyone was doing their part. And I felt like this was my part to give back to combating the pandemic. So I participated back in the fall and I've been an active participant since then. You know,
people don't know most people don't know what it means to be in a trial. What does it mean? Describe it.
One, you take your temperature quite frequently. You use a pulsometer. Twice a week, I got to log in a lot of my health statistics into an app, which goes back to the research and the clinical team. And then every couple of weeks, I go physically and get blood work drawn, and they do additional tests on me. So even when the process is somewhat over and I find for sure if I have the vaccine or the placebo, I still have committed to remain in the process for the remainder of the year.
What does that mean in the process?
So, well, I still need to fulfill the doctor's appointments and doing the app checks. And so they will need to understand and continue to do the study on how long the actual vaccine remains effective.
You know, in the time we have left, I'm curious about this. Connect for us, Jose, by the way, 2020, ironically, was the 10th anniversary of Choose New Jersey. Talk about a challenging year. But I'm curious about this. What would you say the connection is between more and more people getting vaccinated and the health of the New Jersey economy?
So first thing, Steve, I think, like I said this to you almost a year ago when I was last on your show, that New Jersey was going to be a part of the solution. And when you fast forward to today, you know, between the Johnson & Johnson, we have 70 companies in New Jersey that are actively working to combat COVID, be therapeutics, research, and testing. And so from the economic development perspective, it's been amazing and know exactly that New Jersey has given their part to combat the pandemic on the life sciences side of the house.
Yeah, before I let you go real quick, Choose New Jersey is not the same as the New Jersey Economic Development Authority. Tim Sullivan and the team there, we have a great relationship. We work with them on a whole range of economic development awareness programming. What's the connection? They're a quasi-government entity. Yours is an absolute private, not-for-profit, correct?
That is correct. We consider the EDA as our brother or sister organization. We work together to attract companies and then keep the companies that are here, expand and grow and relocate. And so I don't think any major discussion that I have with any major company where I'm not working lockstep and barrel with our colleagues down at the EDA.
Bullish 2021 New Jersey economy?
Absolutely. We are going to rebound. We're going to be stronger than we've ever been. We have quite a few companies that we're having conversations with about calling New Jersey home. And I'm extremely optimistic that New Jersey 21 is going to be a great year for us.
That is Jose Lozano. He is the president and chief executive officer of Choose New Jersey. Jose, good to see you, my friend. All the best to you and your family.
Same to you, Steve. Thanks for having me.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.